What's up, guys? In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about something that you probably haven't thought about, but I keep seeing every single day in this type of industry. And I can tell you the backyard nurseries are going to be extinct easily in the next 10 years. Let me tell you why. So for those of you not familiar with a backyard nursery, what is a backyard nursery? Well, it is what I have here. This is my house. I have a lot of the plants on my property and I sell them to the public. I grow a lot of the plants and I wholesale some of the plants. I buy them from bigger nurseries, bring them to my property and resell them. This is a backyard nursery. Now, why do I think backyard nurseries are going to be extinct in the next 10 years? Well, based on my personal experiences, what I have been dealing with personally, I can tell you, places like my place right here are gonna be gone, and the only guys left behind are gonna be the big corporations, and that is intended. If you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, that is not coincidence. That is exactly what they want because of control. So reason number one, let's talk about the legal stuff. So in most areas, having a backyard nursery is no different than having a regular business, a retail business. So if you want to grow trees or buy trees and resell them at your property, you're going to have to get a permit. If you live in a bigger city, well, guess what? They're not going to let you because you are going to be considered a retail business. And as a retail business, you're going to have to follow the same rules a McDonald's will have to follow if they wanted to open up a new location. So you're either going to have to buy property in a commercial zoning, or you're going to have to rezone your property. So how much does rezoning cost? Well, I can tell you, it depends on your area, but easily you're going to be spending upwards of $50,000 minimum, even if you can do it. And that is not a guarantee because when you rezone, you have to ask all the people around your area, hold a hearing, they are able to come over and they have to say yes or no. And if a lot of people say no, well, guess what? You can still spend $50,000 and not get your permit. Reason number two, space. Having a backyard nursery requires a lot of room. When you first start, not really so much. You can have a small backyard, have a few trees, sell them on Craigslist, or have people come over to your place, and sell them. But as you go on over the years, your plants are gonna grow. You're gonna grow new plants, and a lot of the plants in this business, they need to sit somewhere for many months to even a couple of years before you can sell them, before they are big enough to sell. During that period, they have to go somewhere. So you have to have the space to store them. You still have to take care of them. You still have to water them, but they have to sit somewhere until you're able to sell them. And as time goes on, you're gonna accumulate more plants and more plants over the years that, guess what? You're gonna run out of space. If you wanna make money in this type of industry, you're gonna have to have a big selection. Because when people come over to your place, most people are not just gonna buy one plant and leave. They wanna walk around. They wanna have selection. So the more selection you have, the more money people are gonna spend at your nursery. The problem with space is, if you haven't looked around, most of the new housing are HOA housing. And this HOA housing, the properties are very small. They're not big at all. And that is intended because they can control you better. So even if the zoning in your area allows for a nursery, well, guess what? If you live in an HOA, I guarantee you 99.9%, your HOA does not allow you to have a home business. Reason number three, okay guys, so for those of you who want to start your own business, well, a lot of you guys like plants, which is okay. It makes this job a lot easier. But you also have to understand it requires money. And if you want to make money, you're gonna have to, grow plants, resell them, and money requires more money to make more money. So it gets complicated and it gets very expensive. But the problem with this industry right here is a lot of us who like plants, we start a backyard nursery like this one, right? But then you're also gonna need help because I can guarantee you, you're not gonna be able to offset your main income just by selling plants, especially during the first few years you start your nursery. So you're gonna have to hire help. This is a lot of work right here. I have to take care of my plants every single day, whether I like it or not. Whether I have time or not, I have to take care of them, because if I don't, they will die. And when plants die, not only do I feel bad about the plant, but guess what? You're losing money as well. So even though getting into this business is very affordable, it's very cheap, especially if you are able to have a nursery or a business exception at your property where you can actually grow some plants without, having to hire an attorney and getting permits and all that. It's still an investment. You're gonna have to take care of your plants, and it's gonna require a lot of your own personal time. You're gonna have to go to work every single day, but guess what? When you come home, during the weekends, during the holidays, you're gonna have to work. You will always have to work. And the good thing about this industry right here is when I'm here with my plants, I don't see it as work, because I enjoy what I do. But it's not gonna be like this for everybody else out there. Reason number 4, and that is going to be helpers, employees. Have you noticed when you go to a nursery and you talk to somebody, that somebody usually never knows how to answer your questions? And if they do, they pretend they do, and then they're just quoting things they read online. And there's a reason for that, is because most of those workers literally just started working at that nursery probably that week, and they have no idea how to grow plants, and the only reason they're there is because they're getting paid minimum wage. Now, this type of industry right here is very physical. You're gonna be outside, you're gonna be lifting heavy things all the time, you're gonna have to deal with insects, bugs, spiders, roaches. The heat, you're gonna be sweating your butt off every single day. Is not an easy job. And I can tell you, finding people to help you is going to be extremely hard, especially now, because most people are lazy. Most people don't want to use their hands to make money anymore. And worst of all, a lot of people are entitled. I can tell you, I've been through several helpers here, and most of them don't last more than a few days. Some of them don't like sweating. The heat is going to be the main deal breaker for me hiring people here. They just don't like sweating. It's hot, and people are not used to being outdoors. People are used to sitting, behind the couch, watching Netflix all day in the AC, and that's what they want to do. They don't want to come out and sweat. It doesn't matter how much I pay. The other type of people, they don't like the labor, lifting heavy things and actually having to work until they leave. So if I hire somebody, I'm working with them here, I'm right next to them doing the same thing, suffering, sweating. I want to show them that I'm not just going to sit there and watch them work while I'm comfortable doing something else. And I'm right there. So usually when I hire somebody, they're helping me. And the other type of people, they just don't like the insects. They don't like the critters. They don't like the dirt. They don't want to get dirty. Well, it's just a very hard industry to keep people in. So I can tell you, if you want to start a backyard nursery, you're gonna have a very hard time finding people to help you. Either your family members are gonna help you, or you're gonna be at your nursery nonstop all day, 24/7, doing the work yourself. Reason number 5 is going to be legal stuff. So if you haven't noticed, there are a lot of restrictions, and the government doesn't make it very easy for people like us to succeed in this type of business. And the reason I say that is because I have a commercial property that took me over a year to get a permit to run my nursery, to move this nursery here to a commercial spot. But in order for me to be able to get that permit, it took over a year. I had to hire an architect, I had to get an engineer, I had to have 4 different surveys. It took a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of stress, and guess what? My plate's not even open yet. Why? Because of money. I gotta build a parking lot. I got quoted $120,000 just to build a freaking parking lot. Just so people can come over to my nursery and buy plants, fruit trees. I wanted to keep my nursery as green, clean, and the least amount of environmental carbon footprint as possible, which is what the government wants, right? No, not really. If you get into the commercial sector, they're gonna want you to do everything a big business. They're gonna want you to do everything. Like if you were, a fast food place opening up a new shop. And they didn't give me any exceptions. It was very hard to actually get into, a lot of money. And I can tell you, if I was in this for the money, I would have quit. I mean, it was not worth it. then I will have a lot more money in my pocket right now if I didn't have this nursery. So do I regret, you know, running a backyard nursery? Why do I still do this? Well, the reason I still do this is because I have a vision. I know what's coming in the future, and I know having a nursery is going to help me achieve that goal. And because of the nursery, I'm here talking to you guys. If it wasn't for this nursery right here, I would have never started this YouTube channel, and my life would have gone a completely different way. So for that reason, I keep doing it. I'm not a quitter. Only quitters quit. The only people who succeed in life are the ones who never quit. Reason number 6, real estate. We talked about space earlier. So not only do you need a lot of space, but you're gonna have the property values right now are skyrocketing. So if you wanna buy, you know, I would say minimum to have a backyard nursery or a nursery in general, long term, you're gonna need at least an acre, if not more. The more the better for future use. But just to get started, I mean, you can get away with half an acre if all you're doing is buying plants and reselling them. But if you actually want to grow plants and then you want to get, you know, you want to make your own things, you're going to need space. So the real estate right now is extremely expensive. And to actually make money in this industry, you have to be close to people who have money to buy your plants. If you open up a backyard nursery in the country, hardly anybody is going to buy your plants, and you're only doing it because you like the plants, and whatever money you make is probably going to be able to buy you more plants, but that's about it. You're not going to be able to make a living. To make a living in this industry, you're going to have a nursery in a bigger city. So I am in Arizona, millions of people over here. So if I was not in this area, I can tell you nobody will be buying my tropical plants. No way. So you're going to have to buy property. Property right now is expensive. And for you to get into this business, buy property, all the supplies to be able to run a nursery, the permitting process, the labor costs, the investment that you have to put into this business to actually make a profit, it's just not worth it if you're looking at money only. This is why you don't see people starting nurseries in your city. I mean, just look around. When was the last time you saw a nursery open up in your area, a new nursery from scratch? Nobody. All the nurseries that you see around are usually old nurseries that have been in business for a very long time, and big brand name nurseries, and that's the only reason why they're still around. But those nurseries, most of you guys don't like them because they usually want your money and they don't care if you kill their plants or not. It's actually a benefit for them to kill the plants because that way you go back and buy more. But this is why I think backyard nurseries are just going to be a thing of the past in the next 10 years, because a lot of people like me who have property, well, they're going to move on, they're going to sell their properties, and then all the new housing is just going to be smaller properties. And even if people want to open up a backyard nursery, they won't be able to because they're getting rid of properties like mine. Developers are buying properties like mine and then splitting them into many little houses that they sell off to people, make money, and then, well, this right here is gonna be rare. I get a lot of customers that come to my house and then they're so amazed by the space that I have, because all they know is just cookie cutter backyards and then they have no room for anything. But then they come to my property and they see all the space that I have, all the freedom, and it's just impossible to be able to get something like this in my area unless you make a lot of money. Thankfully, I was lucky. I bought this place when it was cheap, back in the day when the middle class existed, which is disappearing, and that's gonna be the main reason why backyard nurseries are gonna be gone, because it's either gonna be the rich or the poor, nobody in the middle, and those in the middle are usually the ones who are able to start a backyard nursery nowadays. As always, guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you actually are seeing new nurseries popping up in your area. Anyways, don't forget to like the video, and I will see you next time.